Hi, I'm Drane from Harcourts Who's Living, and thank you for joining me in another weekly market update. And a big thanks for the question that's coming today, again revolving around price, and that is, what is my home in Sydney going to be worth in the next 10 years? Let me start by saying this. Over the last 12 months, Sydney has had an unbelievable surge in prices to the extent of 18.4%. And over the last 5 years, an unbelievable 75% increase in house prices across Sydney. Now, this is great news for homeowners, but the flip side of that is those people are looking to get into the market, or low income earners, it's becoming increasingly unaffordable to buy a home in Sydney. So why is it that people are buying houses in Sydney? It's clearly not because of the yields, because the yields are at all record lows. Investors saying they're purely buying property for capital growth in an environment where we have low interest rates and demand pushing prices up. Well, let's look at the facts. In 20 years, Sydney house prices have gone from $233,000 average in 1997 to $1.19 million only 20 years later. And earnings growth has not kept up with house price growth, with the average income 20 years ago being $42,000 and today around about $82,000 per annum. Well, the old maxim that house prices double every 10 years, not exactly the case, but look at what's happened since 1997. Sydney house prices have actually doubled every 8 years. And moving forward, let's try and predict what's going to happen in 10 years' time. Well, if we have a look at the growth metrics over the last 2 decades and they play out over the next 2 decades, I can assure you of this: the average price for a house in Sydney in 2037 will exceed $6 million. That's a given. So to answer your question, I think within the next 10 years we're going to see a median house price in the hills between $2.5 and $3 million. So my advice, get in the market now and build some real wealth around property. So if you want to get a good feel for what's happening right now in the market, we have auctions on Saturday, a lot of open homes. I'm Drane from Harcourts Who's Living, and thank you for joining me for another weekly market update. See you next week.